What if one of the most celebrated giants in hip-hop was sitting on a secret so big it could shatter the public image he's built over decades, a secret buried under years of legal wrangling, sealed court files, and whispered threats? For over 10 years, scattered whispers have been floating through the entertainment industry, the kind of whispers that turn into rumors, and the kind of rumors that can turn into a full-blown scandal. Some say these rumors have been carefully contained, locked away in quiet courtrooms, and muffled by expensive lawyers. Others believe this story has been hiding in plain sight, with the truth dancing just out of reach, and now, after years of suspense, there's been a development so significant that it's forcing everyone, fans, critics, even other celebrities, to look again. This isn't a tabloid rumor. This is a legal saga tangled in questions of paternity, hidden documents, and a young man's relentless pursuit of answers. But to understand how we got here, we have to rewind the clock all the way back to the early 1990s, before Jay-Z was a billionaire, before the fame, before Beyoncé. Back in the early 90s, Sean Carter was just another ambitious rapper trying to carve his lane. Long before Rock Nation and chart-topping albums, he was still a figure moving through New York and beyond with street-level fame. It was around this time, according to her own words, that Wanda, a girl from Philadelphia, crossed paths with him. She would later tell her son, Rymir Satterthwaite, that this meeting turned romantic and intimate, and that months later she found herself pregnant. She faced not just the challenge of becoming a mother, but the silence of losing touch with the man she believed fathered her child. By 1993, baby Rymir was born. Wanda had reconnected with an old flame from high school, Robert, who agreed, or at least accepted, that his name would go on the birth certificate. For all outward appearances, Robert was the father. Nobody knew the quiet storm brewing in the background. Even Rymir grew up believing the man on the paperwork was his biological dad. But at some point, Wanda gave him the truth, that Robert was not his father, and that she believed without a doubt that his real dad was Sean Carter. Jay-Z. It's one thing to hear that as gossip. It's another to hear it from your mother. And once she planted that seed, Rymir couldn't stop wondering. And he wasn't prepared to just leave it at that. The truth, he decided, deserved to be proven officially. In 2010, years after the initial revelation, Rymir made his first move. He filed a paternity case in Pennsylvania, starting a legal fight that would stretch over a decade. Court required a straightforward process: DNA testing for Robert, Jay-Z, and Rymir. The results for Robert came first, and they blew the case wide open. Robert was not the biological father. That left an obvious next step: testing Jay-Z. But instead of clearing the air, things became murkier. Jay-Z never submitted to the order. No explanation, no DNA sample, just silence. Without his participation, the court couldn't force the truth into the light. The case dissolved, leaving Rymir frustrated but even more convinced that he was onto something. Here's the thing about people who've been denied answers for years: losing once doesn't mean they stop. In many cases, it makes them hungrier, and for Rymir, hunger turned into action. If one state couldn't make him take the test, maybe another could. In 2012, Rymir and his legal team changed the battlefield, filing a fresh lawsuit in New Jersey, a state with its own paternity laws and court powers. The goal was clear: find a jurisdiction that could actually compel Jay-Z to comply. But Jay-Z's lawyers weren't just prepared, they were strategic. They claimed Jay-Z had no ties to New Jersey. No property. No business. No legal anchor the court could use to claim authority over him. And under the law, if the court had no jurisdiction, they couldn't even hear the case. It worked. The judge dismissed the case. Rymir's attorneys fired back, producing tax documents and deed records tied to the name Sean Carter in New Jersey. But Jay-Z's camp leveraged one bold argument: those could belong to any Sean Carter. Prove it's my client. The court sided with Jay-Z. And once again, Rymir was back at square one, only now he had more bruises from the legal fight. But he wasn't alone anymore. The story was starting to catch the attention of organizations that knew how to fight powerful opposition. By 2014, the NAACP and the ACLU had thrown their weight behind Rymir's cause. They weren't claiming to know whether Jay-Z was the father. Their focus was on something broader: the right of an alleged child to seek truth without being shut down by legal technicalities. More lawsuits followed. More dismissals came in return, usually because the court said there still wasn't definitive evidence linking the Sean Carter in the documents to Jay-Z. By now, the stakes had shifted. This wasn't just about paternity anymore, it was about whether someone with power and resources could indefinitely avoid answering a legal question. Rymir's lawyers pushed for the unsealing of documents going all the way back to 2012, hoping something in those files could break the stalemate. The motion made waves, and soon this fight spilled outside the courthouse walls and into the glare of celebrity culture. If there's one thing the entertainment industry loves, it's a juicy controversy. 50 Cent, never shy about poking at his rivals, jumped on the story, posting quips and framing this as a final checkmate against Jay-Z. Nicki Minaj jumped in, referencing her own long-standing grievances with Jay-Z and fanning the flames further. Social media lit up. Old photos were dug out. People compared Rymir's face to Jay-Z's. Others argued it was nothing but a clout chase. Memes, TikTok breakdowns, YouTube reaction videos. The digital storm was impossible to ignore. Through it all, Rymir insisted, "I'm not after his money. I just want the truth." But as the noise grew louder, so did rumors about someone else in the Carter circle feeling the blowback. Beyoncé. Some insiders began whispering that Beyoncé was livid about the renewed public interest and the legal traction Rymir was starting to gain. Reports, unconfirmed but widely shared, suggested she considered delaying her tell-all memoir. According to those claims, the book would cover her marriage, the infamous Solange elevator incident, and rumors of Jay-Z's infidelity, all with her carefully crafted perspective. The thought of adding a paternity scandal into that mix? For some sources, it was a clear reason for her to rethink her timing. Whether those rumors were real or just media fantasy, one thing was clear: the speculation was powerful enough to generate more headlines, and in the entertainment world, perception can be as impactful as truth. By mid-2025, the latest twist arrived. Rymir withdrew his most recent federal lawsuit. But he made it clear, the fight wasn't over. "This is chess, not checkers," he said, vowing to regroup and come back smarter. Jay-Z's attorneys remained firm. These allegations were harassment and fiction. They pointed out that after over a decade, not a single court has compelled Jay-Z to take a DNA test, and without that, everything else remains speculation. And that's exactly where it stands. No test. No final proof. Just two competing narratives, each backed by its own brand of conviction.